Welcome back to Only Talk Sports. We talk sports every single day, or at least we try to. I'm Roche Jeffrey. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Hit that notification bell so you never miss our video. I hope everybody had a happy Labor Day weekend and a happy Labor Day. But I'm telling you, somebody who's not having a happy Labor Day, and that is Bill Belichick, because the North Carolina Tar Heels in Belichick's debut just got absolutely boat raced by the TCU Horned Frogs with a 48-14 loss. And what makes this even worse is that TCU was only favored to win this game by 3 points. So essentially around a 50-50 pick'em game. TCU as a slight favorite, with Carolina being at home. Usually 3 points goes in advantage of the home team. So technically you could say TCU is favored by around 6. So that's a pretty healthy margin. But like I said, most people thought this was a coin flip, and a lot of people picked North Carolina to win this game, including myself, because a lot of people felt Belichick coming in, one of the greatest coaches of all time, had his great NFL career. He's coming to college now. He's going to do a great job at North Carolina, more than likely, and possibly have a better shot of going to the ACC title game than going 4-8, which a lot of media members debated that question before the season started. But man, things are not looking good. UNC, they very well could go 4-8 with the way they played tonight. And the thing is their schedule's really easy too. That's the sad thing. They have a very easy schedule. That's what I lamented about UNC when they had Mac Brown. A lot of their schedules were very easy. They have really good quarterbacks with Sam Howell and Drake May, but it didn't matter. They did not do well at all whatsoever. And yes, Carolina deserved a little bit of grace last season when talking about Max Johnson's injury. That was a tough injury. Mac Brown ended up retiring. So they get Bill Belichick. And you've got Gio Lopez, this transfer quarterback from South Alabama. You have Max Johnson returning. Who did Carolina go with? Gio Lopez. And he looked really good on the first drive for Carolina. They start out 7-0. You saw Roy Williams in the crowd. You saw Michael Jordan, Lawrence Taylor, Julius Peppers, Bill Belichick's girlfriend, Jordan Hudson. You saw it all for North Carolina. It was rocking in Keenan Memorial Stadium. Things were looking good for North Carolina. But after that first drop, everything went downhill from there. And TCU started to dominate. Josh Hoover easily was leading TCU down the field and scoring touchdowns. He threw for almost 300 yards. I like Josh Hoover. I've always felt Josh Hoover was a pretty solid quarterback. A lot of people don't really talk about him because TCU has not been that great the last few years, but I think he is a very solid quarterback. TCU could be a factor in a wide-open Big 12 if TCU keeps at this high level of play. And not only was TCU's offense rolling, and North Carolina was not able to stop TCU, which is surprising when you look at Bill Belichick and how good he is at defense. That's what his track record was in the NFL. Yes, North Carolina is bringing in 70 new players, right? 70 newcomers. They had like 38 returners, like the most newcomers of any team in the ACC. That's tough. Carolina basically just rebuilt with freshmen in the portal, kind of like other teams have done in their first seasons now in this transfer portal era. But it did not work for North Carolina. TCU completely boat raced North Carolina on offense and their defense. After Gio Lopez had that opening drive touchdown, TCU started to lock in. They had a pick 6 on Gio Lopez. They got a fumble, scoop, and score on Gio Lopez. So TCU was putting up points from their defense, turning it into offense, turning it into points. Great for TCU there. North Carolina was abysmal. I mean, I don't know if Bill Belichick only had that opening drive, scripted or whatever, because that opening drive was perfect. Carolina looked great. But then after that, they had nothing else in the tank. They had no other play calls, literally at all whatsoever. It did not look like North Carolina, after that first drive, had anything going for them, like any idea, any clue of what to run. They did not know what to run. They were running generic stuff after that first drive. They only scripted that first drive, it looked like. I don't know. Maybe TCU just figured them out. Maybe Carolina got lucky. Maybe they're just terrible. Maybe they're going to have a horrible season and they just got lucky starting out of the gate. But it's crazy to see Carolina go from playing that good on that first drive to after that, they completely sucked. And again, North Carolina under Matt Brown, the defense was a problem. And that's what Belichick was basically here to do, right? Make the defense better. It did not get any better. And now you've got people talking about this. This was already being talked about before, but now it's being talked about even more so now that he's taken the North Carolina head coaching job. Belichick, if he never had Tom Brady, and they have like him in a Publix, uniform, which is hilarious, right? The thing is, you really think about it though, and I saw somebody post this on X. They said that Tom Brady, when you look at Bill Belichick's record with him with all those Super Bowls, without Tom Brady, Bill Belichick is like 83 and 101 as a head coach. That's bad. I mean, that's worse than like Jeff Fisher. I mean, that's not even 500. I mean, you don't want to say that. I really don't want to believe that Bill Belichick is like the biggest fraud in NFL history and coaching history, like some people are now saying that literally without Brady, he's nothing. I don't want to say that. Because you look at other coaches like Andy Reid. What about Noah Mahomes? Look at other coaches, right? And things are going to drop off. Saban, it's kind of tough in college football because he had so many great quarterbacks. He had so many great defensive players, wide receivers throughout, his decades of coaching. And he did great at LSU as well. I don't know. I don't want to say Bill Belichick is just not great, man. But I'm telling you, the thing that sucks for Bill Belichick is that his legacy is absolutely getting destroyed. Because if he had retired when Tom Brady left the Patriots, if he had to just quit, no one would be saying this right now. Literally nobody would be talking crap about Bill Belichick. That's why Nick Saban got out when he did. Not only that, obviously he did it because NIL and the portal, but what if Saban had started going downhill at Alabama? Then people would be like, oh, well, Saban went downhill toward the end. A lot of coaches, people do that. We're like toward the end. Jim Boeheim at Syracuse. Fantastic coaching career in college basketball, but toward the end, did not do as well. And people are like, hey, he needs to go. And basically, Syracuse kind of pushed him out, right? So you look at these type of things. Bill Belichick's legacy would be so much better right now if he had just left coaching when Tom Brady left for the Bucs. Instead, he kept coaching, and the Patriots went down the tubes. And now he's at the UNC Tar Heels in college football, and things are not going well so far. I literally tweeted and said maybe the Bill Belichick era would end after one game. Obviously, I was joking, but I mean, seriously, I don't know. It would almost just be best for Bill Belichick just to hang it up right now because the more that he coaches, the longer this goes on, it just looks even worse for his legacy. And obviously, with his girlfriend and all that stuff, that's crazy as well. People have given him a lot of flack for that. His personal life, that's his personal life. That's all fine and well and good for me. He can do whatever he wants. She's a grown woman. He's a really grown man. He's old, but that's their business. There's no foul play there or anything, but still, it's a bad look there too. Maybe if he wasn't coaching, it wasn't in the limelight, maybe it wouldn't be as big of a deal, But people talking about that, they've been talking about it all offseason. And this team just wasn't flat out ready outside of that first drive. After that first drive, Carolina went completely down the tube. So sadly, all that hype North Carolina got. Because let's face it, even though this was a standalone game on Labor Day, this game got hyped because of this man right here, Bill Belichick. That's why North Carolina got all the hype for this game, even though they weren't even favored. People were starting to hype up Carolina. I had Carolina, I think, going like 7-5 this year. Maybe 8-4. I think I said 7-5, but I didn't have Carolina going too high. Maybe 8-4. I might have actually said 8-4 because their schedule is that easy. Maybe they still can go 8-4, but I highly doubt after this performance. Belichick, he's going to have multiple opportunities to turn this around because again, UNC schedule is that easy. But what a garbage performance tonight! Probably one of the worst performances of any team this weekend, and just humiliating that Bill Belichick, starting out his UNC career, just how he ended his New England Patriots career. Not good at all. Absolutely terrible coaching. He doesn't look like he knows how to fix things. Deer in the headlights. And it's sad because a Hall of Fame coach of Bill Belichick that people had such high esteem for 5 years ago, now people are memeing him with, Publix and other grocery stores, images saying that's where he should be if he did not have Tom Brady. And it's crazy. But TCU, congratulations on the win. But Carolina's got a lot to do if they're going to find a way to be able to turn this around. That's an ugly first game performance. And just crazy, again, that Bill Belichick coming to UNC, that's what you deliver in your week one game. This type of performance, just absolutely sad. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below about North Carolina getting destroyed by TCU and whether you think Bill Belichick has any shot at turning this around or whether you think that the rest of his coaching career is just going to go miserably at North Carolina and that he should retire. Follow me on Twitter as well. Link is in the description, and I'll see you next time.